Carl, you had mentioned in the last segment, of course, Gary Gensler, SEC chair, and some meetings today involving the president as well. All of this around a lot of different things. But one key part of it from the SEC's perspective is increased disclosure from U.S. corporations in terms of the risks that climate change poses for their businesses and how, in fact, they will respond and or disclose. Interesting article today in the Journal talking about resistance amongst some corporations, in part because, well, how are you really going to measure and explain? Can you do so in an adequate form, Jim, in some way, in a SEC filing? Or is it going to actually lead to perhaps more confusion rather than clarity? But it is all part, of course, of the administration's efforts. And by the way, the efforts of so much capital now that is in the market or poised to enter to get more disclosure and more understanding so that there are those who can measure progress.
Right. Well, you take Microsoft. Remember, they want to go to negative. They want to get rid of all the carbon. Now, they have very strict standards, audit committee, about what really people are doing. And I think that what the SEC ought to do is call in all the companies that have really done a great job and said, what do you do? How do you outside audit? How do you make sure that it's not a farce? Because there are outfits that do measure. And I would go to Satya and say, Satya, tell us what to do.
But, I mean, Microsoft's, listen, they do disclose more than Apple does and the number. But if you're ExxonMobil, which, by the way, confirmed that the 3 board members have joined the board.
That's great.
In that proxy fight.
I mean,
or if you're an oil and gas company or somebody in natural, you're going to get over penalized. Are your investors going to have a full understanding? Or if you really are interested as an investor, shouldn't you then simply be willing, as you look at the 3 new board members for Exxon, to just ask more questions?
No, I just think it should be standard disclosure. I think it should be the way we disclose cash flow, the way you disclose the.
Right, but it's been years and years of, by the way, cash flow. I mean, how many companies use adjusted EBITDA? We don't even go through all the adjustments.
No, the disclosure tells you which one of those is selling by sales. We have sales, but I think that it has to be stickered. I think that you want to disclose this. Look, I'm not saying that's done overnight. I think that they have to study it. I mean, just don't put. But then I think that from now on, younger people, for instance, the younger people I speak to. I bumped into a bunch of guys last night, and they said, thank you. Thank you for forcing companies to disclose what they're doing to helping people who aren't doing well. Now, that's different from what we're talking about in terms of the environment.
Yes,
but
it is.
I think that younger people want to know before they buy a stock. They want to know, and they should have every right to know, and that's the future of capitalism. I want to see what Exxon does, because Exxon basically has the most pro-environmental board, not just of an oil company, but arguably, right? I mean, what are they going to do? They can't get out of the oil business.
No, they can't get out of the oil business.
But they will have to have the strictest rules.
These new members are going to be part of what is a very strong board already that is pushing them to transition even more quickly. And it'll be interesting to see how
transition
Darren Woods,
to what?
the company's CEO...
Transition to less methane?
Transition to
less
carbon.
flaring?
By the way, putting a price on carbon would be something Exxon certainly would be in favor of. And that goes back to kind of some of this disclosure also, because you might have an understanding for certain corporations in terms of what they're...
Although it's those ESG pressures that some argue will drive short-term oil prices up. We got it up 4 weeks in a row.
I think it has.
On Conoco today, BMO goes to 72, Mizuho goes to 82.
Sure, well, the only way to be sure, I think that, first of all, as Dave has been saying, Engine 1 was maybe the most important thing I've ever seen when it came to boards. And every oil company, I think, now is in a race to show, listen, we're going to be less carbon intensive. And I think you're right. I think it's driven up oil. But David is so right. Everybody is vulnerable if Exxon folded. They beat Exxon.
Shepard Smith here. Thanks for watching CNBC on YouTube.